Hi, thank you so much for tuning into the Michelle Got Goals podcast, episode number 33. On this podcast, we discuss the journey called entrepreneurship. This week, it's the last check-in episode of 2022 with myself, your host, Michelle. I started this podcast pretty much exactly a year ago, and the goal of this podcast was always accountability for myself. Putting myself out there, shouting to the stars what I'm setting out to do for myself and with my businesses. When I started the podcast last year in 2021, I was only a licensed customs broker. I have a small trade compliance firm where I help importing companies streamline their import processes and audit their customs brokers and entries, right? But meanwhile, since 2022, I'm also a licensed real estate agent here in the Detroit metro area. So I'm building two businesses while working full-time. So it's been a busy year, right? And for you that followed me, networking has been a big part of building my business. I'm trying to get my name out there. With the type of businesses I have, you need to let people know what you're doing. They're not just going to knock on my door and say, hey, Michelle, I hear you audit customs entries. I need your help. Sometimes my target audience doesn't even know that they could use my help, as contractor coming in, review their processes, maybe save some money, tighten up the supply chain, and audit what their customs brokers have been submitting to customs on their behalf. They just know, our shipments are flowing, everything must be well, but you never know what's going on in the background. That's where I come in, and my target audience simply doesn't know that they could, use my help. So I really been focusing on networking. I belong to 3 organizations here in the Detroit metro area, 2 of them being international. But so I'm reflecting right now on what has been working and what hasn't been working. Obviously, the international aspect works for me because, if you are an international business here in the United States, chances are you are importing. This is why I belong to the International Chamber of Commerce's. But I don't want to be just, a one-trick pony. I want to be broad. I'm also a real estate agent now, so I'm also, missing just mingling with like-minded people. So I think I'm going to drop one organization this year. It was a women's-based organization, which is a great organization. I just don't see the return of investment coming back. I'm paying all these hundreds of dollars, but really for what? So I can attend 2 webinars a year. So it's not really doing much for me. So I actually think I'm going to be joining a different women's collaborative that is based in Detroit this coming year. It's pretty high. The membership is, not high, but it's a fee. So again, with the upcoming year, all these organizations, the membership dues are due. So that's something as a small business you have to make first. And what I didn't really consider either, as a real estate agent, you have monthly fees that you have to pay if you have listings or not. And I haven't really had any listings yet, but I do have my first listing coming up. So I'm really excited about that, that in 2022, I will still have my first listing. So how has 2022 been for Michelle and her businesses? So work has been busy. So my business aspirations had to fall to the wayside a little bit, but I must say I've been staying pretty consistent on sharing on my LinkedIn, sending out my newsletter. Even if I'm not selling like crazy, we don't need to let potential customers know that I'm not selling like crazy. All they need to know is that I consistently put on these courses and webinars, and I'm out here available, for services to be booked. So yes, I might not have the numbers that I would like in my business. That doesn't mean my customers or my potential customers need to know about Michelle's struggle, right? And it's been a struggle. I'm nowhere where I would like to be. If I was where I wanted to be, I wouldn't be working full-time anymore, right? So I'm absolutely not where I would like to be. But I really believe that my networking this year that I started last year, that it's going to come to fruition. I've been making good connections. These past weeks, I have made it known to my organizations, what I'm looking for from them in 2023, 2023. I mean, it's great that I'm paying all these memberships, but what are you guys doing for me? So I really had those conversations with the organizations that I'm part of. And I can just tell, by showing up, people know, being introduced meanwhile as hey, Michelle, this is Michelle, licensed customs broker. She can help with improving import processes. So people know what I do. So it's just all about being in the right room at the right time. Or if somebody says out there, I think we need somebody to help us with our import compliance. I don't really understand what's going on. That somebody can say, you know what, I met this Michelle. She's always at these events for the chamber. Maybe she can be of help. So that's what it's been all about, building my network. I am lucky enough that, I really clicked with some people. Obviously, I have a business bestie. She's also my broker in my real estate business. But through networking since beginning of this year, last year, I also made another business bestie, or actually two, both lawyers. We exchange how things are going, or what would you do, what wouldn't you do. We're all small business owners, so it's been pretty great. Overall, I guess it's been a good year. I simply don't have the numbers yet that I would like to post in my businesses, but I'm very excited about my first listing for a home coming up. And I'm really excited about keep networking, keep connecting with like-minded individuals, and just keep thriving and growing and following my dreams and aspirations and, hitting these goals. So so I think 2023 is really going to be good. I'm going to switch up my organizations a little bit. Like I mentioned, keep putting myself out there, mingle with like-minded people. And I thought, since the last check-in episode, I would share for the last time my LinkedIn numbers because, I've been trying to stay active on LinkedIn. And so right now, my current social selling index is 45. I'm in the top 47 percentile of my network, and I'm in the top 11 of my industry rank. So I would say my numbers haven't really changed. They might be a little worse than they were a couple of months ago, but like I've been saying, I've been really busy at my real job. It's taking away from my business endeavors. It's really sad, but I know I'm not the only side hustler that feels that way. But while my business is thriving, I really need to still be able to pay my bills. So 2023, here we come. What is your outlook on 2023? What are you working on? What are you excited about? What have you learned through 2022? Please do share. As usual, you can go to my webpage, michellegotgoals.com, or you can go to my Instagram or YouTube, Michelle_got_goals. I'm very excited for 2023, but I'm not done with 2022. I still have goals to meet, money to be made, connections to be made, and just living and enjoying the journey. My last episode is actually a collaborative of 3 business owners. They're going to share their stories. We're going to talk about how it is to build a business, what was easier than they thought, what was harder, what issues did they not expect, So we have 3 really great ladies sharing their stories. We have a roundtable discussion. So that's going to be the last episode of 2022. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Tell me how it's going with you guys. And we'll talk again in 2023.